On this episode of the John 1911 podcast, James Yeager returns. Is the M96 coming back into production from Robinson Arms? 375 Holland & Holland is a prepper rifle, and stealing baby Jesus. Okay, good morning, everybody. This is Marky Freeze, and this is episode 82 of the John 1911 podcast. Happy New Year, brother. How you been?
Oh, man, I've been busy, sick, tired, but wow, episode 83, man. Isn't that crazy?
No, 82. Did I say 82 or 83?
I don't remember. I heard 83 in my mind.
Shit, I may have said 83.
Maybe it's 82. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's in the 80s, man.
You know what? This is Mitch's problem. I'm not even going to fix this shit. If I called it 83, I'm screwed. I don't care.
Yeah, whatever.
You know what? Good enough. So here's the thing. We have a confession. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. I mean, we've obviously all been up for a long time. You and I have been talking for over an hour about two rifles. For
exciting stuff for 2018, man.
Yeah, so just some debates and some decisions and just figuring some stuff out and of course we're getting on goddamn gun broker.
Yeah. Well, and at the end of the day, we realize that I'm right and you're wrong.
Yeah. So, do you remember the text message I sent you this morning before we actually went live? That you remember what I told you to add to your outline?
Yes. Oh my God. What the hell is that? My response was, that's not going to end well.
I sent Freeze a text message this morning, and I said, "Hey, add penis whitening to your outline." And he's like, "What?" So, I occasionally like to, we go around and we pull stuff from like the police blotter and all this. We normally do it at the end, but anyway, I get this story coming out of Thailand. I guess there's. According to the story, all these gay guys in Thailand are having their penises whitened. It's just
see. I know this makes me a bad person, and there's a special place in hell for guys like me.
Be careful.
But as soon as you said penis lightning, I thought, oh, you're.
Oh man, don't fucking say that shit.
Okay, have Mitch take that out.
No, I'm not. No, you're gonna fucking eat that. Fuck you.
Oh, I know.
No, I mean, it's just like all these gay. I mean, I don't even understand. It's like, okay, apparently it's this. But okay, if you're, when I saw this, do you know who I thought of? Do you know who I thought of? Do you know the guy? Remember Sammy Sosa?
Yeah.
Have you seen a picture of Sammy Sosa in the past 5 years?
Oh, no. I mean, maybe, but not that I...
So it used to be in baseball, because I'm not a big sports person, but it was such big news you couldn't help but hear it. It was Sammy Sosa was in the they were back and forth in the number of home runs. It was Sammy Sosa versus... Who's the white guy?
Mark McGuire or something like that.
I think that's the dude's name. So anyway,
I know the baseball guys will correct us if we're wrong.
and there was like they call it the juice era, or I don't know what the hell they call it.
Yeah, they all got asterisks behind their name for steroids and all that shit.
Yeah, what was it like? Oh yeah, Mark McGuire's like, oh yeah, he pulls out this bottle like, oh yeah, I'm on Andro 300 from GNC or whatever. It's like, yeah, fuck you, buddy. Yeah. So anyway, so it's him and Sammy Sosa. And Sammy Sosa, I don't know if anyone remembers this, but Sammy Sosa, I think he's from like the Dominican Republic or somewhere, but he's black. I mean, he's not a light-skinned black man. He's black. And he was jacked. I mean, he was like I would call like a middleweight bodybuilder. I mean, he was jacked, and
he was basically the Terry Crews of baseball.
Kinda, yeah. And I remember one time he swung a bat, so I think he broke it across his back. But anyway, if you see a picture of him today, dude, he's lightening his skin. Dude, he's white.
Really?
I'm not.
Well, I mean,
yeah. No. Maybe I don't like. I'm straight up the dude. Maybe, you know what? He might be. He may not be from Dominican Republic because maybe he's from Brazil. Because Brazilian people like that. A lot of people in the U.S. don't know this, but down in Brazil, they're real big into like. It's like a huge. I mean, not the lightning thing, but this whole like how you look is like a huge part of their culture down there. Like, if you think a lot of women walking around New York or Beverly Hills looking like the Catwoman is common, dude, in frickin' Brazil, oh my, it's crazy. They're doing, like, they'll do surgery on, like, I mean, they'll do crazy shit to anybody now, because it's all out of control. So anyway, the dude's white.
Sammy Sosa is turning white?
Oh, dude, he's not. We're not talking about like a guy who, like in a police, like I don't know how else to say, but like like they'll describe someone like a light skinned black person or dark skinned person or hillbilly with red hair. I mean, whatever it's fine. Sammy Sosa is not a light skinned black person. Sammy Sosa is he's goddamn white.
Really?
And it's like you look at him, he looks so bizarre.
Well, the only thing I can say is, welcome to my privilege.
But I thought of us like, well, maybe, I mean, like, are they not, like, is Sammy's, like, I never thought about this, but is Sammy Sosa's whole body white? I mean, like, did they, like, whiten his penis, or does like a separate deal, and that's why, like, oh, there's been a breakthrough in Thailand, Sammy, you can go get your penis whitened. That's the first thing, I don't understand. But apparently in Thailand, it's all these gay dudes getting their penis whitened. So anyway.
Okay, I mean...
All right, let's talk about some good shit. This is the first podcast of 2018.
Okay, but my overall question is, why do these gay guys in Thailand want to have a white penis?
I have a confession. I was a headline reader on this story. I didn't go that deep into it.
Okay, that's fine. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. So... I guess we got to talk about a couple things. So, I don't know. I saw this yesterday. It may have happened the day before. And this has all kind of been going on since we kind of been on hiatus since the middle of December. So, it's been almost a month since we've done a podcast. Yeah. James Yeager got thrown off of YouTube.
Yes.
And then, apparently, a day or two ago, he's back on YouTube.
Well, I know he's got a new video channel. I've been seeing things on the internet about it. He's on something. Is he?
He is starting his own video channel, social media site, and he's calling it LiberTV.
Okay.
Like Liberty or maybe he's called LiberTV. LiberTV. So yeah. I guess, it would probably make more sense. So you and I were sitting, and this is interesting to me, is, our regulars know this. We've made a lot of decisions as far as how we run our website because we were looking down the road and we were afraid of certain things were going to happen when things started changing with, the hippies. Like they'd start breaking all these links, kicking people off. So anyway, we use Vimeo as our back end for the video hosting. And so, we publish to YouTube, publish to Facebook, do all that crap, but all my videos on the website are Vimeo. We pay for it, but in the long term, I felt like it was a better arrangement because it's a business to business relationship. And so whatever I want to post, I can post it. They're not really going to, as long as I'm not stealing other people's stuff, like I'm not posting Star Wars movies, they don't really care. So,
yes.
Well, and I think Vimeo runs a lot better than YouTube. Vimeo runs really, really well. Well, anyway, James put up his LiberTV thing. And he put up his page, and he's announcing LiberTV, and dude, it's Vimeo. I mean, here's the thing. I don't know if he's really starting his own YouTube. He may start his own, like, what I would call full 30, because we even talked about doing that, but all he's doing is he's going to be back-ending it on Vimeo. I mean, we've actually talked about if somebody wanted in the future, if we wanted to start John 1911, like a competitor to say full 30, just for argument's sake. I'm not trying to compete with him.
Yeah.
But it would be Vimeo. And I think, and I've also noticed a couple weeks ago that the guy from Full 30, he has started posting directly to Vimeo. And I've always suspected that his Full 30 back ends are Vimeo, but there's always all these complaints that it doesn't run well. And I know Vimeo runs damn well. So I don't know what's going on there. But James Yeager, he's talking about like having an app, which you can do with Vimeo. He's talking about, a pay side, which you can do with Vimeo, commercials, which you can do with Vimeo. And I'm just glad to see it. So I just thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, no, man, I'm happy to see it as well, because even though I'm not the biggest James Yeager fan, anytime you can walk outside the YouTube communistic bubble, it's better for our entire community.
Mm-hmm. Well, check this out. I don't know if you noticed this. Like, I just really noticed it in the past day or two because I'd been too busy. He was off YouTube for, I don't know, maybe a month. I mean, hell, we haven't done a podcast in almost.
Yeah. So it's been about
3
a month
weeks
because we talked about it on our last podcast.
Yeah,
so it's been about a month.
Well, so I guess he started a Kickstarter or something, one of these fundraising things, GoFundMe, whatever they are.
Yeah,
and
whatever.
He wanted to raise 50 G's, and apparently he did it. He's got different levels of whatever, and
no shocker there.
No shocker there.
He's got the fan base.
He does. And it also seems that YouTube decided a couple days ago to bring him back. So I guess he has a couple different YouTube channels, which I wasn't really aware of, but anyway, his main YouTube channel, or so I'm not quite sure. I guess if you go to his channel, like, all his videos are gone. And I think maybe, like, the channel that I saw, because I think he had 300-some thousand subscribers, and I think maybe now he's trying. He doesn't have 300,000. Apparently, what I had heard is if your quote YouTube channel on YouTube is deactivated for more than 3 days, all your shit disappears.
Wow. Okay.
So think about that. So that's like another like kick to you in the nuts if you're on YouTube. Like, even if you fight your way back, if it takes more than 3 days, all your shit's gone. I mean, people at home are like, well, I'm sure he still got copies. That's fine. I got copies. He does. But here's the problem: are you going to spend the next 2 years re-uploading all that shit?
Exactly. And we've talked about this on previous podcasts about what's involved. Specifically with like guy like Nothing Fancy or Hickok 45.
Oh, Nothing Fancy and Hickok 45 are fucked.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't want to get into it because like I said, we've talked about it. But if your shit disappears within 3 days, it's not like, oh well, it's no big deal. I mean, you're done.
Yeah.
Because it would take. I mean, yeah, okay, you can start migrating the shit back up there, but it's going to take. I mean, a guy like Nothing Fancy, he could work on it for 2 years and not still get every video up.
And people don't understand, it's not just the video.
It's not a one button click. Oh, upload, boom. No.
Yeah.
It's a lot more in depth than that.
Yeah, it's the descriptions, the tags, the thumbnails, the titles, and you got to keep all that stuff, and even then you still got to like do it all, and it just. I mean, the whole, like, we're shutting you down, and then, oh, no, you're back now, you're fine, and all shit's gone. Dude, that's terrible.
Well, and then on top of that, even if he could magically migrate all his videos, his 300,000 followers are gone.
I don't know if that's. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure on that, but it looks like that may be the case as well. So anyway, it's just another argument that maybe we made the right decision in the past. I mean, obviously we're not, we're just a couple of schlubs, but we're more concerned with running the armory than we are, all this other shit. So, we're trying. But yeah, I'm just, it's just the idea that all that work and now it's all gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's no longer a theory.
Oh, man,
That's terrible.
Yeah,
So,
that's bad.
So you don't follow this because we've been talking about. I'll give people a hint. We've been talking about Ruger guns all morning. Do you know that Glock came out with a new pistol?
The 19XJ jerk me off or whatever it's called.
Do you know what? That is going to make the title. The Glock 19XJ jerk me off. Okay. So apparently you have heard of it.
I have.
You know, look, I'm going to say this because look, a lot of people care about Glock, and that's fine. I mean, I really do. I respect Glock immensely, but I'm noticing like this trend with these people. They're all like, it's weird. They're like, one guy says something and they all parrot the same thing. And I'm noticing this new like headline that's kind of like being parroted. And as soon as we publish this on John 1911, some guy's going to roll in and he's going to say something to the effect, I don't know, guys. I think this Glock 19X doesn't really seem appropriate for the civilian market. And here's the argument they're all making. Well, the full size grip. The full size grip isn't really CCW compatible. They should have made a 17 slide and a 19 grip or a 26 grip. And it's like, so there's a few people saying this, and then it's being parroted by all these people. And I don't mean to be like a super dickhead. You tell you motherfuckers don't carry goddamn guns because carry a full-size goddamn 1911 all the time, it's not a fucking problem. I carry a Glock 21. I mean, especially if you're doing an appendix carry. Dude, I mean, you could carry a goddamn cannon fucking appendix. I mean, it's just like, here's the thing. When last year at the SHOT Show, I think it was last year, Glock came out with, they call them like their MOS guns. They're these, the red dot, factory red dot capable guns. So they come out with this long slide red dot gun, or you can put a red dot on it. I can't remember what caliber it was in. Like maybe it's, I don't know what it was. Maybe it's 10 millimeter. I don't know what it was. But then last year, everybody, all these same people that are like, oh, I don't think this gun's appropriate for the civilian market. I think this is a fucking miss. All these people last year were all saying the same thing. Glock needed to come out with a Glock 19 with a 17-inch fucking, or 17 frame. I mean, it's literally you get to a point when you're like, if you consume the firearms media, these media sites, I can't stand them. I mean, they're so, it's like 1984. They're so retarded. They literally don't even remember what they said like 5 minutes before. And,
well, but that's so typical. I mean, it really is.
Yeah, and the thing is, dude, this 19X is the gun. I mean, I told you that. I mean, remember one of the deals? Remember the FNS9? Remember that gun?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a good gun. I mean, it's there's been some issues with it. I don't want to go into too much, and the 509 is now the new version of it. The FNS9 509 guns are the Glock 19X. They are a 19-inch. They're a Glock 19 slide with a 17 frame because it's people, big guys. They if you're big gun, full size grip, full size ammo, and the shorter slide because it's a little bit easier to point and swing it around, and you don't need to take a shot at 100 yards. And you can still shoot somebody at 100 yards with a Glock 19.
Yeah, well, I like the FNS9.
Yeah, but no one ever says, "Oh yeah, the Glock FNS9 isn't civilian appropriate."
Yeah, well,
some of these guys that are like these like gun writer Illuminatis are a bunch of goddamn idiots. I mean, dude, I will never forget this fucking guy showed up. He was a big gun writer. I'm not going to mention his name. He's never worked for us. He's never written for, not Scott Mayer. And he showed up at our facility and he going through a training and he literally was putting rounds in the dirt. Boom, 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 up to the fucking target. And it's like, oh my God, this guy fucking writes in magazines. It was like, whoa. I mean, it was like 4 rounds up. I mean, like into the ground. Boom, 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 boom. Up. It was freaky.
Okay, well, here's the thing: the guy on the insert forum here, the Glock forum, the 1911 forum, the SIG forum, the whatever forum, who's got 10,000 posts is the resident expert, but the guy with 10,000 posts shoots maybe 50 rounds a year because he spends all his time on the internet posting.
Exactly. Oh my God. Yeah.
He's the expert. Well, the only reason you think he's an expert is because he's got 10,000 posts. But why does he have 10,000 posts? Because he's not out there shooting guns.
Oh my God. It's a fucking wreck. I'm going to speak obliquely about this because I just am. I wasn't even going to bring this up, but I'm going to bring it up because I'd actually forgotten about it. I guess at the end of last year, one of these sites, one of these media sites, they basically, it looks like a whole mess of their people got canned for they were all caught getting paid by gun manufacturers to not tell the truth about their guns. And a whole bunch of them got fired. You know what? Oh, they retired. Yeah. And it's just like, it's just how, it's just how bad it is. And, a lot of these sites you'll see I hate to say it like this, and this is somewhat maybe the loop back around to James Yeager, because a lot of people are like shitting on James Yeager because I guess he's banned a lot of people. Well, here's the thing. If they're going to shit on James Yeager because he's banned a lot of people, man, you're going to be shitting on me because we banned a lot of motherfuckers. And we didn't used to. But my point is, if you go to a website and you find that the comment section is pretty much a free-for-all and nobody's down there moderating any of that shit, just get the fuck out. It's just a fucking gun forum.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Okay. People do crap on Yeager because he does ban a lot of people. We ban a lot of people because you have to keep control. And I understand where he's coming from. He has to keep control of his site the same way we do. And I know the people on the outside that don't run sites get bent out of shape if, I said something and he didn't like it and I got banned. Well, you know what? That's put on your big boy panties, buddy. That's real life.
That's typically not what happens, though. Somebody rolls in, they disagree. And if they lose the argument or you basically like, that's okay, but we're just not going to agree on this, they immediately slide into attacking us personally.
Oh, yeah.
That's what happens. It's not like somebody ever goes, I make this work and this is fine, but you guys, I respect you and that's fine too, but we just disagree on this. I'm going to ban that motherfucker.
We have never banned a single person for disagreeing with us. Seriously, you can disagree with us all you want. Mm-hmm. We've never banned anyone for that. We have banned people if you roll in there, you can disagree, but as soon as you say you're boom, you're banned.
Yeah.
Because disagree with me all you want. Call me a name and you're gone. Because it's my site, it's my house, it's my bat, it's my ball. Fuck you. You don't insult me.
Well, here's the thing, because what ends up happening is, and then we're going to move on from this, but what ends up happening is you end up creating an environment where the cool kids run off the noobs, and I don't like that at all. Here's the thing. I don't want some kid who rolls into one of our properties and he's got a legit question. I don't care what it is. He's got a legit question, but everybody else shits on him because they're too cool and they know more than him. But see, the guys that attack you personally, the guys that basically you don't agree with everything they say because it's all gospel and everybody knows this, they will turn around and attack. They run off the new guys, and it's just a bunch of range. They're like the range Nazis on the fucking internet. And so I'd rather have some kid roll into our website, be like, "Hey, Marky, I need some advice. How do I, I can't get my 1911 apart, or I can't do this." I will answer that question. I will get on the phone and walk you through. I don't need money from you. I don't need shit from you. I will help you because, you're in the club. And all I ask is you just pay it forward to somebody else. But these fucking guys, these websites aren't moderated. Apparently the articles aren't fucking being moderated. And they're all fucking...
Let me give you an example of what you're talking about. So some noob rolls in and he says, "I can't get my clip to stay in my gun right." And instead of someone sitting there and telling him how to solve his problem, they're all like, "It's not a clip, it's a magazine," and blah, blah. And they get into the whole clip magazine thing.
Pedantic bullshit.
Just because someone sat there and called a magazine a clip. Who really fucking cares? Everyone reading this knows what this guy meant. Everyone knows he's a noob. And that's okay. Because I guarantee you, everyone who's sitting there making comments, "It's a magazine, not a clip," has called it a fucking clip one time in their life.
Well, it's even more important than that. I mean, they probably aren't even shooting.
Well, that's a good point too.
Let's be real. I mean, it's just like, let's go on the range, let's shoot guns and have fun. I'm not down with it. Actually, I didn't tell you this. We had actually, it was the week after the slaughterhouse for all these people being fired for lying about all this shit. We got an email from a girl. No, we got two of them. We got an email from a guy, and he wanted to offer us money. He's like, "Can I pay you money and write an article on your website to talk about a product and link to my website?" And I was like, this is interesting. So I just
I saw a thing from a woman.
Hold on, that's the next one. So this guy, and I was like, well, I said, "We've never done this before. What is it you want to write about? How does this work? What is it you want to write about?" And literally the guy came back and he's like, "I give you money, I write an article for your website and drive traffic for this product or whatever." And literally I was like, "Oh, okay. So you think I'm fucking stupid because I asked you a specific question." It's like, "What is this?" And I let the guy fucking have it. And I let the guy fucking have it. I was like, "You motherfucker." I said, "We've never done this." And I said, "This is why I don't want to fucking do it. Because I asked you a specific fucking question and you didn't specifically fucking answer it. So the next time you reach out to somebody and they ask you a specific fucking question, I suggest you fucking answer it. P.S. Don't fucking contact me again." I'll take the meeting, but don't fucking pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. So so that was literally the week after the slaughter. I'm like, I wonder if these people are associated with them. Like, is this, I don't know what all this is. So then a week later, the girl who you're referring to, she reaches out and she's like,
dude, she was dropping like, "We'll give you $4,000 or $5,000, and it's like, stop it.
No. This girl, she was like, "I am a passionate writer, and I'm interested in guns, and all this stuff." And then, and all this, and I was like, okay. So I just did a little snooping, and I remember I read her thing, and there was like one or two things in her email that, if you're a writer, it wasn't a typo. It almost seemed like maybe like English wasn't her first language. Like, it was just, it was very subtle. One or two words it wasn't like, autocorrect. I post shit all the time and shit's wrong. Autocorrect or something, or, it'll put a different word because it's a similar word and I don't catch it. Since it's not a typo, I don't catch it, whatever. So I'm looking at this and I'm like, so I started doing some research on this woman, and as best I can tell, she's not a woman, first of all. She's a robot. It looked like a couple years ago, this group, they were under this woman's name, and it's always like a hot picture. They were doing the similar stuff to sell, I don't know what this is, Freeze, skins for guns on video games. Does that make any sense? Like, no, I don't know what that is either. But
I don't play video games. I know exactly zero about video games.
But I guess you can buy shit for video games. Like, you can buy whatever it is. So anyway, so this was some group, like, and I just perceived it to be out of like India or something. And so now they were trying to pimp something else. So I did more searching, and I will be a motherfucker if she wasn't writing for some quote gun blogs out there. And it's really fake. It's all fake as fuck. And here's the thing. Oh, dude, I found an article that this quote girl wrote, and it's on like a prep, like for prepper guns or something. And so what's the best all around gun for whatever? And you read this article, and again, there's some typos in it where you're like, English may not be her first language. But here was the kicker. This is a girl. She's, I'm new to guns, but I like guns, so I want to document my journey with guns, whatever. She goes through all these guns, and her summation for the best all-around gun if you're a prepper in the U.S. is a .375 Holland & Holland fucking bolt-action gun. Yes. No. Talking about shooting rabbits with a literally, she had ARs in there. She had all this shit. Again, this wasn't a girl. This was bullshit. And I was like, oh my, and this is on somebody's website. And I'm like, you have got to be fucking kidding me.
That's awesome.
And here's the thing. I actually responded
because now I want to go out and shoot a rabbit with a .375 Holland.
I mean, it's just like it, dude. It's fucking Looney Tunes out there, and it's. I didn't even tell you about that girl. I didn't tell you about. I'll have to send you. I'll dig it up because it's in my history. So yeah. The best prepper gun you can have is a .375 Holland & Holland. I mean,
and I agree.
I mean, talking about like literally shooting small game. It's big, wow. It's the arguments were, you can get the ammo kind of. It's a common ammo. And
maybe if you're in the deep dark jungles of Stanley and Livingston, Africa.
Yeah, I mean, this was all. Here's the thing: it was a fairly long article. I mean, I don't know word counts, but I mean, it was not. It was as long as some of the longer articles I've ever written on our page. And wow. I mean, it was like this whole fucking thing. It had pictures. This is all fucking fake robot bullshit or something. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the fuck. And this dude has this on his goddamn website.
Okay. So bottom line is, I mean, when push comes to shove, how much were they going to pay us to post these bullshit articles on our website?
We never got that far. Well, here's the thing. No. She didn't want money. She was going to write for free. She was like, I'm trying to get my name out there. I'm trying to grow. And, that's all the right stuff to say. I'll give you the shit for free. And, but I'm looking at this and it's like, there's a few words here that are just, a little suspicious. And, yeah, dude, I think it was a fucking robot. Or a bunch of guys in like India, like sitting around, just bullshit. I mean, it's how much crazy bullshit is out there, like these fake articles written by robots or written by people that have never touched a gun.
Well, all I want to know is how much money can I get?
Yeah, and it's just, so anyway, I guess that's the state of the firearms website community in January of 2018. Hey, I'm just going to throw this as an insert and we'll move on from it. There's a rumor going around. Guy posted on the internet. He was saying that he was saying that the Robinson has announced that they're going to start making the M96 rifle again.
And that's awesome.
So you can get a Bren kit.
Dude, I so want a Bren kit for our Robinson.
Yeah.
Dude, I do. I mean, you know, I know everyone's like all up on, you know, like, oh, well, you know, the belt fed kit for the Robinson. Yeah, fuck the belt fed. Man, I want a Bren kit for the Robinson.
You know what?
That is so badass.
You know what? The people that want the belt fed kit are like the same people that are like saying 375 Holland Hunt is great for rabbits. Have you ever dealt with belts? Have you ever had the fucking link belts and pick up? Here's the thing. It's not like the military. Here's your shit. Let me give you some more shit. You got to pick up all your goddamn links. You got to put them in a goddamn machine.
Oh, you got to have a linker.
Yeah.
You got to, no, belt feds are a pain in the ass. I mean, it's okay if someone else is supplying you with cans of belts.
If Uncle Sugar's giving you the belts.
Yeah. No, look, I mean, don't get me wrong. I like belt feds just as much as the next guy. They're cool as hell. But man, dude, seriously, a Bren kit for the Robinson? Just how badass is that?
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was, so anyway, look, no one else is reporting this, and I'm not even saying for sure that it's real. We had seen some stuff from Robinson a couple years ago that they were definitely considering it because they were getting enough requests for it, and this guy supposedly, I've seen a representative from Robinson who's like their customer service rep. He's been hinting around that things are changing. And then there's a guy on the internet who said he had emailed them and got a response from a woman saying the same thing, like within the past couple of days.
Well, look, we'll see what happens. I mean, look, I hope it happens. And I hope when it does happen that the Bren conversion kit's not like $9,000.
Yeah.
You know,
I'd just like to have a shorter barrel for the fucking Robinson because it's like the gun we have is like an 18 or 20 inch barrel with a brake on it.
I think it's like a 20. I mean, with the brake, I think it's like 22 inches or something, which is, you know, it's a shame. It's a long rifle. It really, if it had a 16, 17 inch barrel on it, it would be so much better.
Well, that's the thing, because it's a stamped sheet metal gun. It's so light and handy. A short barrel, it'd be a whole new gun.
Well, and the thing is, the barrel pops right off that damn thing. So, I mean, you know, if they put out a Bren kit with a shorter barrel, I mean, I'd be willing to buy the kit just for the shorter barrel.
Do you think a Bren kit requires a new barrel as well?
No, but I bet you would be able to buy one. Because
here's the thing. To get it to feed from a Bren kit, wouldn't you have to flip the barrel upside? I guess if you flip the receiver, you probably flip the barrel with it within the receiver. Because the feed ramps are on the bottom, they're going to be on the top. So, you know, I don't know. I don't know. So,
I mean, you know what? Who knows? I mean, this is all speculation.
Yeah.
But I would like to see them, the Bren kit come with a barrel. It would increase the cost a little bit, but so what?
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, you know.
I got more gun news for you.
Okay. I like gun news.
You remember Chip McCormick, don't Shooting Star magazines from back in the 80s, right?
Oh, yeah. Me and Chip go way back.
Yeah. Well, Chip is retired, and he announced his retirement, and he has sold his company lock, stock, and barrel to Wilson Combat.
You know, I heard about that.
Mm-hmm.
I did. And from Chip McCormick's point of view, good deal. And from Wilson's point of view, good deal. I mean, as long as they can agree on a price, which obviously they have, benefit. I mean, obviously when you're retiring, anytime you can sell your shit is a benefit. But from Wilson Combat's point of view, gobbling up McCormick, very good move on their part.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt. I mean, they're just really basically buying the IP and the brand. And, but Wilson basically, I mean, for all practical purposes, kind of decimated Chip McCormick because Chip McCormick's, they were the gold standard magazines for a long time until Wilson started getting into the magazine game. And look, McCormick magazines are good magazines, especially for the way the followers. The only problem I ever have with McCormick magazines is sometimes the follower, when it's all the way up at the top, will rock forward out of the tube a little bit, and that then it keeps it from locking the slide back, and sometimes even keeps it from dropping free out of the 1911. So I guess Wilson's going to keep making McCormick magazines and just sell them as kind of like a cheaper, like a lower price point gun or lower price point mag for, on their product line. So like here you can buy the $9 Chip McCormicks and then you can buy the $19 Wilsons or whatever. I don't know what they cost now anymore.
Well, but I mean, it's a smart business move because I mean, you don't want to sit there and lower the quality of your own product. So what you do is you buy another brand, price it cheaper as a budget line, and that way you don't degrade your brand, but yet you still have a budget line. You increase your sales, and Yep. Because look, the guys that won't pay the guys that won't pay you $10 for your product will pay you $5 for the other product, and you're still going to be making them on the same machines you make your other shit on, but yet basically you gobble up a market that you didn't have, and you don't degrade your brand in the process. It's a good move.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're going to be making them on the same machine. You know what? I don't know. I mean, what the hell do I know about making magazines? So,
I would imagine that they're all going to be made on the same machine.
Yeah, it's possible.
I mean, obviously, look, it's a 1911 magazine. I mean, the follower's going to be a little different. Maybe the floor plate's going to be a little different. I mean,
Chip McCormick's typically had a welded floor plate. She came up with some ones that weren't, but I haven't bought Chip McCormick magazines. I literally have not bought a Chip McCormick magazine in 20 years.
No, that's not true. We were at the NRA show.
That wasn't Chip McCormick.
No, I think it was. No, was that Novak magazines?
It was Novak's. It was Novak, the company, but they were selling. They're behind me in a drawer. Hold on, let me look. Hold on. Okay, it's a Novak mag. Well, it's who the fuck makes these? The Novak did not make these magazines. They just roll mark them. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm here.
Is it shit, I don't know who makes these, but they have a really, really strong follower in them. They're like strong spring, and I like the follower because it's kind of like a Chip McCormick because it presents real high, but it's got a wall on the nose so it doesn't rock forward. But sometimes the feed lips on these will crack because they're under such pressure. Yeah, that wasn't Chip McCormick.
Okay, so that was a Novak booth we were at because I bought a set of VZ grips. When you were buying like magazines, like you were filling up your pouch with magazines.
Oh, dude, they were blowing out these mags and what did I buy? Like 30 of them?
Yeah.
I bought them all. I bought like every last one they had.
I mean, you were like cornering the market on their 1911 magazines.
ETM, can't remember what they're not. It's whatever magazine Novak sells. They've got their roll mark on the mag, but they don't make the mag either.
Yeah. All I know is I was looking for a commander size set of grips, and they had a set of G10s on their table, and it's just like, oh yeah. and I mean, you were buying so many freaking magazines. They basically gave me the grips. I mean, they didn't give them.
I don't even remember that.
No, I mean, the thing is, they charged me for it, but I mean, I paid like half of what retail is on them because, we're together, and you're like, oh, give me mags, and you're filling a wheelbarrow full of freaking. Okay, not really, but you're buying all these 1911 mags, so they cut me a really, really good deal on these G10 VZ grips.
You know what? That was 10 years ago this summer, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think that was that Louisville or Houston? No, that was Louisville.
That was Louisville.
Yeah, that was the Louisville
McCain, because we saw who did we saw? We saw McCain, right?
No, Glenn Beck was the guest speaker at the dinner.
Yeah. But who was there with like all the Secret Service and the metal detectors? It wasn't Glenn Beck. It was McCain or Palin was there.
No, I think Palin was there. I don't know if McCain was there.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Secret Service, because Secret Service was all over the place. Like there was even uniformed Secret Service on the floor at the show.
Yeah,
I wasn't used to seeing them. I don't think I've ever seen uniformed Secret Service outside of Washington. So
that's because usually outside of Washington, I mean, they have a very small presence.
Yeah, the well-heeled Washingtons don't come outside to associate with us peons out here in real America. So,
yeah.
All right, here's interesting news. When people criticize the high point, what's always the rebuttal they say? But the carbine. That's right. I have high point carbine news, which I thought maybe you might find interesting. I don't know if tell me this, is the high point carbine a straight blowback gun as well, like all the rest of them? It probably is, right?
Shit, I have no freaking clue. I've never held an actual high point carbine.
Well, apparently High Point is coming out with a 10 millimeter carbine.
But why not?
Yeah.
Look, here's the thing. I mean, High Point, is the gangbanger gun of choice because, well, they're cheap.
I have an ATF story about High Point, but go ahead.
And look, you can say what you want about the carbine. You can say what you want about the High Point pistols. The truth is, God, and it kind of hurts me to say this, the truth is they're not bad guns overall. I mean, they're crappy ergonomically, but, I mean, they function. I mean, they do. Just go to YouTube and...
Yeah, ball ammo and, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, ball ammo, they function. I mean, try to find a freaking holster for them other than Uncle Mike's generic vinyl holster, or nylon holster. But, I mean, but look, I mean, they are what they are. They're cheap, and if you can't afford to go out and buy, your freaking R8 Blazer, go out and get a High Point carbine because anyone can afford it.
Dude, I mean, I don't even know. I mean, a Blazer sling might cost more than a High Point pistol.
Well, yeah.
That actually might be true.
Actually, that I don't know. Yeah, you know what? I'm willing to put money on it that's actually true.
Yeah.
But my point is, from a High Point point of view, hey, why not come out with the 40? Yeah, sure, why not a 40 carbine?
Yeah.
Hey.
No, this is a 10 millimeter.
Or 10 millimeter, whatever.
I know.
I mean, gee, if, 475 Holland and Holland.
Yeah. Do you, yeah, it says 375. The best gun you can buy for prepper work is the 375 Holland & Holland straight blowback carbine. So, you remember, I'm not going to mention the store because we, that people would be upset. And I don't think they're around anymore. But there was a gun store that I used to know, and they sold they had so many forward traces from the ATF. They call it forward traces.
Yes.
Most civilians would think of it.
I know the story you're talking about.
Most civilians would think of it as a backwards trace, but they call it a forward trace because that's the government.
Yeah.
And this store was getting basically was selling so many gangbangers guns, and it was all High Points, that they had worked out a deal that they were recording everybody that was buying gun. Like they had a camera at the register and a camera outside, so they could record people's cars and license plates and record people at the register. And if they ever caught someone straw purchasing, or because they were catching people buying guns, and it was all High Points. That's what it always was, because they guy'd roll into the store and be like, "Yeah, I need a gun. I want what the cops carry," and then be like, the guns would come out. What about Glock? Or what the cops? And so it would start Glock, and then be like what the cops carry, and work your way down the price, and eventually they'd all end up buying High Point.
Yes.
And so the ATF was getting so many traces, and they were trying to figure out, straw purchases. So anyway, it was this undercover kind of thing, and everybody involved is all gone now. It's all over. And so, there's no point even talking about it. And people would get pissed off, especially on the internet, but the carbine crowd, about High Point, you'd shit on High Point. High Point has so many traces, forward traces, and contact with the ATF that the ATF has a good relationship with High Point. And if you are an ATF agent and you're working like their forensics divisions, they actually part of what you can do when you're in your apprenticeship at the ATF is you can actually work at High Point. Lets them come in and do shit in practice, like doing forensics work and paperwork and practicing forward traces, because the argument is we're going to be here anyway.
Yeah, that's
and they
awesome.
literally run an apprenticeship program at High Point for ATF employees.
Yeah, but that's totally awesome.
It is awesome. It's true, and I'm not making this shit up. It's you look for it. It's out there. It's not common knowledge, but people refuse to accept it. But I mean, it's just like it's just like officers in the dope game. Officers in a dope game eventually have relationships with the dopers. You know what I mean? You start, your enemy's on one side, but you can still keep it friendly.
Hey, every dope cop out there has 2 or 3 guys that he's very friendly with that is a monumental drug addict, but hey, it's a symbiotic relationship,
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to stop talking because I was going to tell a story, but I'm not going to do it.
No, but the particular gun shop you were talking about, I believe every year when High Point has their annual corporate business meeting, a representative from that gun shop shows up for their plaque of #1 High Point salesman of the year.
I think that's actually true. I think they were like the largest High Point dealer, if not in the country, at least in like a region or something. They were the largest something, whatever that was. That was kind of always interesting too. So
yeah.
So we're kind of so. Hey, did I tell you that some German national police group has chosen the VP9 as their service pistol?
Yes, I think we talked about that. Yeah. Well, I don't know if we covered it on a podcast, but I think we covered it personally.
So I guess they don't call it the VP9 over there.
No, it's
they call it the SPF9TR.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah, whatever. It's a freaking VP9.
Well, the VP9 in Europe is actually it's a veterinarian pistol. That's what VP stands for, and it's basically a suppressor gun, and you use it to basically put animals down with it, and they've trademarked the name VP9 in Europe. So HK couldn't call it VP9. So that's why they call it the whatever they call it over there. And actually, it's made by the company's called B&T, Brugger and Tomei, and all these people like in the U.S. are like, they follow B&T, and they buy B&T guns are getting some traction here in the U.S. But every time I hear that last name Tomei, Henri Tomei was this big international arms dealer dirtbag, and I'm just like, I cringe every time I hear his name, because it's bad. that dude, I mean, he's literally Henri Tomei was up there with like Victor Boot. Victor Boot was a front for the Russian GRU guys and their international weapons sales, and Henri Tomei half the time was fronting for who knows. Henri Tomei was selling shit to, he was selling stuff to every dirtbag from like Tunisia to Afghanistan.
Well, he was an entrepreneur.
Yeah, so, but at one point he had created this company, B&T, and he subsequently left the company, so they kept the name, and we're no longer affiliated, but, every fucking I hear that guy's name.
Yeah, of course they're not affiliated with him, but whatever.
So, we've been going about 50-some minutes, and we already talked an hour anyway, so talking about stuff.
No, we've been going for like an hour, 50 minutes, and that was before we talked for an hour.
Well, you know what? We haven't hardly talked in a month. So,
yeah, that's true.
You know,
well, we've talked, but we've not talked publicly.
Yeah. So, what'd you think of the fire pit at the on the rifle range?
Man, I tell you what, I like it. Needs a little work. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
But
it's getting too much air. It's got too many holes in it.
Sure, but you know what? We needed a fire pit. We talked about a fire pit, and you know, and hey, you know what? Regardless, we got one now.
Yeah, I was out there testing this new AR we've got in the armory. It's a copy of Officer Mike's gun, and you know, I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do with this gun yet. So, but dude, it was cold as hell out there. I was out there all day, and it was in the teens, and you know, it's like we have all these building supplies that we dumped out there for build out, and some of the stuff is kind of garbage. So it's like I could burn some of this and get some heat, and I was like, well, I need to put a fire pit in, but I want to keep it close enough to the briar patch that, you know, we can get some heat off of it, you know, so we can, you know, be warm and kind of like make it a real staging area. But I also don't want to set the entire briar patch on fire. So, and so you know, we had a bunch of I don't know what do you call them, cement block. What do you call those things?
Cinder
blocks.
Cinder blocks.
And
yeah.
then we had capstones.
And then we had pavers or whatever, capstones, pavers, whatever you want to call it.
And because I wanted to burn some of these pallets, and I was like, I need a pit big enough to burn a pallet so I don't set this field on fire. And did you notice the one guy on Facebook was like, "Hey man, it looks like your fire may got away from you there for a minute."
Yeah, I did notice that.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that was so. It was. You know, I had a shovel, and I knew at some point it might break out, but what was happening was it was getting so much air, and, you know, I put so much in there that it was so hot, I couldn't get close enough to it to beat the fire down, so the fire had to run out to where I could get to it so I could beat it down with the shovel. So, you know, I need to close, you know, I mean, in theory, here's the thing, in theory, if it had been like August and like there were like no burn, you know, warning. That fire was so strong, it would have set the whole field on fire.
Nah, you know, it probably wouldn't have. You'd have been there with a shovel. It would have been fine.
Yeah, but it was going quick. It was moving quick, and so you know, and there's no water out there.
No,
I mean, you know, I had some water in a truck, but not that much.
No.
Yeah.
Which bears to mind, it probably wouldn't hurt to maybe put a fire extinguisher in the trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we also maybe might want to think about running a water line.
Well, there's water at the road.
There's water at the road, and just
honestly, all you got to do is run a water line down to the briar patch, and then put
No, I'm not going to do that. I'd run the water, keep it up by the road, and just if we need water, we just fill it up there.
Well,
for a couple reasons. One, I'm not going to pay to run. I'm not going to run a pipe, you know, 300-400 yards underground. And second of all, if it bursts, I'd rather have it burst up by the road where somebody can see it.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like, down at Mitchell Range by the barn. There's and by the garage, the clubhouse, there's the spigot sticking up with the handle where, you pull the handle up. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I was going to do that up by the road.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the thing is, you could run that down to, it would cost to run, 300 yards of piping. But the thing is, those kind of work a lot like your sprinkler system. They have a bleed off for the winter where you can shut them off.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that. I'm not going to spend the money
to run it 300 yards back to the briar
when
patch.
I still got to get a bulldozer to knock down a big ass hill. If we're gonna bring in some heavy equipment to do some work, I'm not trenching for a water line. We're gonna trench through a hill.
Gotcha. And no, I totally understand that. But the thing is, you need to have water hookup. even if it's by the road, it doesn't matter where it is. I mean, the only difference between where it is how much you want to spend to run lines. But even if it's up by the road, you still have to pay someone to hook in and run water. But honestly, in all fairness, it wouldn't hurt to have actually a water source out there.
Yeah. That's coming. And, as we build out more on the range and do all that, we'll get more of that done. So
yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, we will.
What the hell else was there?
Look, I mean, the truth is, let's see, how long have we owned the shooting range?
This range?
Yeah, 4 months.
Yeah, I mean, we're not even 6 months into it yet.
I mean, honestly, I think we're doing damn good. And I mean, everything we do out there costs money. I mean, none of this shit's free. And no one's fucking volunteering to do shit for us. But the truth is, it'll all come in time, I mean, I think honestly, with the amount of time we're talking, 4 months? We'll just say 4 months. I think honestly, our progress at this point is fucking phenomenal. I mean, look, we got a fire pit. What the fuck?
Yeah. I mean, it was interesting because I did share the fire pit with some people, and it's amazing. All these people all of a sudden are like, "Oh man, I'd like to come out there." So that's funny. You didn't want to come out and build the fucking fire pit.
you didn't want to build the fire pit, but you wanted, but you had no problem throwing some pallets in there.
Yeah. I mean, we've. Did I tell you about the SWAT team? They're talking about? I mean, not officially yet. They have. I got a call. I haven't. They had a meeting, and I haven't officially heard from them. But
here's the thing. I mean, you did tell me about it. Look, those are great guys. I mean, they do great work, and and I love what they do. And if they want to come out and use the range, fuck yeah. I mean, anytime. Do they need to put sweat equity into the range? Appreciated, but you know what? If the SWAT team wants to come out and use the range, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, they're fucking welcome. If they want to help us, put up some steel and stuff, I mean, I'm not going to turn down any labor, but at the end of the day, yeah, man, I think that's phenomenal, man. I think it's great that they want to come out and play around.
Yeah, I mean, this was offered earlier in the year. There was a inquiry as to maybe a possible trade for equity for access, and it's like I told him, I was like, it's not necessary right now. I said we're fine. But the thing is, they have a training cycle in the summer that they're going to be limited on the range, and so. It's not the entire team. It's just the snipers, and they're going to be that particular cycle. They're locked out of like their longer ranges, so they're like, well, maybe we could come to your range, this new range. And I'm like, guys, I'm not going to have 1,000 yards by the summer.
No, but you know what though? If they still want to come out and shoot 500 or 600 yards, then
I told them, I said, here's the thing. I said, you guys talk about it. You let me know what you say. But it's like, I said, I can't promise. I can't promise. I mean, I'm not going to promise more than 400 yards.
No. And there's nothing about promising anything. It's like, we have what we have. If they want to utilize it, they can utilize it.
Yeah.
We have what we have. If they want to come out and utilize our facilities, they're more than welcome. Obviously we have to agree on that, if you go, no, fuck you, we're not going to do it, then we're not going to do it. But I'm not going to promise the SWAT team that we're going to have something for them. It's like, no, this is what we have. We're doing it on our budget. I mean, the fact that we even have the property is just amazing.
Yeah, it's just, I just didn't want them giving up. It turns out their options for this they schedule stuff out like all year, and apparently this one little month they're locked out of like a lot of their options. So I'm like, well, what do you guys have access to? I mean, what if you don't come to my range? What can you guys shoot? And I literally couldn't believe that I was told this. They said we're at 100 yards. I'm like, you're shitting me.
Oh, shit!
I was like, what? He's like, yeah. He says we got nowhere to go in the middle of the summer.
We can beat that now.
Oh yeah, I said we can give them. I said I promised them. I said I can do 300 without even trying. I said I can promise you 4. So I can promise you 4. And if it's not the entire team, if it's just the snipers, because the entire team would just be crazy. And I don't need the entire team. No offense, but I don't want some guy who's not a sniper trying to take a shot at 400 yards, ends up shooting one of my neighbor's cows or something.
Well, but you also have to understand that, it's not like going to a shooting range where you have 20 shooting stalls. I mean, we're pretty limited on shooting positions right now. Will it come later? Yeah, but will we ever have 20 shooting stalls? No, because we don't need 20 shooting stalls.
No, I mean, they'll be shooting from like, they'll be shooting from whatever we've got, shooting from trees, shooting from fields.
Yeah. No, I understand that, but this isn't like whatever range they're currently shooting on right now.
So they bounce, but different ranges. So,
but I mean, it's not going to be a sanctioned range. Yeah. But then again, where do you find a sanctioned range where you can have a raging fucking bonfire either?
Yeah, and that's and I shouldn't say this, but I had a call with. We got to get some insurance squared away because I do know that it's not this team, but there's another team that I know that typically what they do, again, it's not this team, but there's another team that I know that used to come and train at a different place where I used to work. They would come in and as an entire team and they would do their stuff. Whatever. And it used to be like a 2-day or 3-day deal. And they would get shit-faced at night. I mean, they would get fucking, like, you'd see guys the next day trying to do shit hung the fuck over.
Well, I mean, shit. I mean,
and, when these boys get shit-faced, people get hurt.
You've been down to Mitchell Range during hunting season. You know how the liquor flows the night before. I mean, there's been a lot of guys that have gone out to their deer stand in the morning pretty hungover.
Yeah.
But that's not going to be our range.
I mean, look, if they want to camp out and sit by the fire pit and they want to drink, but here's the problem: the current range, the 1,000-yard range, the nearest hospital. The problem is, it's the one hospital that you said people go to die.
Oh, the closest hospital, and I'm not going to name names, but the closest hospital, the locals down there call, and I quote, and you can't see my air quotes right now, it's called the Death Hospital.
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay if you need a broken bone set or if you need some stitches, but if you go down there for anything major, you'll die. I mean, it's got a reputation. As a matter of fact, I'll be honest with you, I had an uncle that died in that hospital. No, seriously. They kept him in that hospital.
Such an awesome podcast.
No, seriously. By the time they actually air carried him to a major hospital here in our city, it was too late. Yeah. It's bad. But with that being said, look, I mean, we're not going to be a party range where people can be sitting there drinking beer and shooting guns.
No,
we do have range rules. Yeah. But look, if you want to come out and it's the summer and you want to camp out, you want to shoot a day and, do a weekend thing and, put up a tent and hang out around a bonfire and drink some beers. Fuck, man, I do that all the time now.
I know, but you're making it sound like this is open to the public and it's not. So,
no.
But the thing is, some guy gets drunk and our property isn't that cleared and he falls and breaks his leg in 800 places. But the bad news is we do not have a good hospital and we do not have a level 1 trauma center that's within kind of like our area like we used to. But the good news is we do officially now have a Medevac LZ set up though. So we do have that worked out and it's charted. So, and
the thing is, you can take the life flight from 3 different major cities trauma centers and send them the GPS coordinates just in case.
Well, you need to do that ahead of time, and that's the thing.
You do have to do it ahead of time. Yeah. But the thing is, there's 3 major cities that have major trauma centers around that this property is in the center of, and it wouldn't hurt to take a GPS coordinate, and the main field above the briar patch is a perfect place for medevacs to land. And more importantly, which will come into play, is less than a mile down the road.
Stop talking. Stop talking. No. Stop. I'm telling you right now, because just trust me. Don't do that, because that's all out there. And that's don't do that.
But I don't think anything.
It's all out there. That is, you could literally click a click and boom, you're up. I mean, I'm telling you. No. We're done. You're good. Yeah, you're correct. You are 100% correct, and that's what we're going to rely on. And stop talking. And that way I don't have to edit this shit out. So
okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That went very well. I didn't know if you were going to have like a shit attack off of you or not. So, all right.
That's okay.
Okay, so a couple things. We're going to wrap this one up because we're just all over the place.
Oh, hell, at this point, we're just talking to hear ourselves talk.
Okay, did you hear about obviously it's real bad, the guy that shot all the cops in Colorado?
Oh, God, yeah.
Oh, did you hear? Oh, guess what? He escaped from a psych ward. He escaped from a psych ward in the past, and it's like,
but does that shock anyone?
I know. Well, but then, apparently he was in law school, and I think he's a lawyer, but I guess he, quote, had a falling out with the people at the law school, and, the law school had a restraining order against him and, had told the police and all these people, they're like, he could come back here, so if you see him, call the police. And it's like, okay, so, all right, just everybody stop for a minute. Guy, everybody thinks he's crazy. Everybody's afraid of him. He's escaped from a mental institution, and it's, we should do something about guns. It's like, no, asshole.
No.
Why the fuck is he even walking around?
Exactly.
And we don't have a mental health system in this country, period. All these fucking guys running around that need to be on community control. It's crazy. And, every cop knows this. They fucking deal with the same jackasses every day.
And that's the thing. It's like, oh, okay, this guy goes out there and shoots up the place, but he's a crazy son of a bitch. He escaped from a mental institution. His place of employment has already had an alert to where, hey, if he comes on property, he's probably going to be here to shoot the place up, so call the cops. That alone should tell you this motherfucker should be locked up.
Yeah, and it's
But the problem is, the mental facility he escaped from was not a real mental facility. It was a facility, it was a mental hospital to treat people with facilities, but it wasn't like the old insane, it wasn't like Romans or Longview, where it was basically a fucking prison for the goddamn crazy.
Well, you need kind of like a sliding scale of either incarcerated into day living, outpatient, weekly visits. We really don't have a functioning, basically once you get to a certain point, you just, again, we've said this before, when it's goddamn, what are they calling this, cold snap now, and all these people living outside, all these people that live outside when it's 10 degrees below zero are mentally ill.
Yes, they are.
They're not down.
They don't need to be locked up in a mentally ill prison like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest prison type. But they are mentally ill and they need to be in a facility.
Yeah, which means you're going to have to place them in there against their will.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you a story.
Okay. Then I'm going to end it on a funny but sad story. Then that'll be the end of the podcast.
Okay, so there is a local company here, and I'm not going to name names, but they run river dinner cruises on the river.
I have images of like all these Carnival cruise lines and everybody gets the shits.
No.
Okay.
They have the paddle wheel boats on the river, and they run dinner cruises up and down the river.
Okay.
Well, anyway, my grandmother, God rest her soul, before she died, worked for the wife of the guy who owned this river cruise company. Well, anyway, when I lived in, we'll just say over on the east side, there was this guy used to walk around. He was a bum. He always carried a 2-liter of orange soda. He always had cigarettes. He never bummed money, but he was a bum, and he lived in the woods behind the tennis courts, behind the apartment complex I lived in had a set of tennis courts, and he lived in the woods behind the tennis courts. And he was a local. I mean, he never bothered anyone. He never bummed money, but he was literally a bum who lived in the woods. Mm-hmm. But he always had money to buy cigarettes, and he always carried around a 2-liter of orange soda. So one day, my grandmother calls me, and, you know, I've always had trucks and stuff, and she's just like, I need you to come over here to wherever. We won't say where, because whoever needs some stuff moved, she needs some stuff taken out of her garage and disposed of. Can you come over and do it? And I'm like, well, sure, because, it's my grandmother, and you don't really say no to your grandmother unless you want to rot in hell.
Yes.
So I go over there, and we're sitting there, talking, and all of a sudden, Dutch is sitting in the freaking kitchen. And I'm like, what the fuck? Well, I didn't say what the fuck in front of Grandma, but I'm like, what the fuck? Because he's literally my fucking neighbor that lives in the woods behind the tennis courts. Well, it turns out that he was a scientist, worked for the government, did all this crazy shit, had a family, married, kids, had a mental fucking meltdown. Well, the lady that my grandmother worked for, this was her brother. So what she did is this guy had money, but she managed it. And he could go into the local bank, and he was allowed to withdraw X amount of dollars a month. And he used that to buy his cigarettes and his orange soda and food and whatnot. And about every 5-6 months, she would round him up and bring him home and clean him up and trim his hair and beard and get him new clothes. And she basically took care of her brother, but basically he was a homeless bum because he had a mental meltdown.
And he had access to probably a lot of money.
Oh, yeah, dude, the guy was fucking low. Of course, this woman that I'm talking about was a multi-millionaire, but he had his own money.
Back when that was a lot of money.
Oh, God, this was back in the late 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I mean, the thing is, he wasn't violent. He wasn't harmful. He wasn't a nuisance, but because of his mental status, he just couldn't deal, and he literally lived in a plywood shack in the woods behind my tennis courts. Mm-hmm. And I mean, he was like a neighborhood icon. Everyone knew him, said hi to him on the street. He never fucked with anyone. He never bothered anyone. He never, but everyone knew him. He was just kind of like a neighborhood. It is what it is.
But most of those people don't have rich brothers and sisters.
Yes, exactly.
And people that at least kind of, oh my God, it's going to be -10. Go round up Bubba.
Exactly. So when things got bad, she would round him up, and she would round him up every few months anyway, just to keep him groomed. Yeah. But yeah. You know.
Yeah. Dude, I've seen it. I've seen it 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Most of these people, they're not. Oh yeah, I got laid off from my factory job and whatever.
And my wife left me. I got to live under the bridge.
My car broke down, and I don't have the money to fix it, so I'm living under the bridge. And yeah, none of this works that way.
I mean, no, exactly.
There was a story. This is going to be the end here. So there was a story over the holiday, and this is an example of how you really can't win with the crazy people. You know, everyone, you know, they come up with some fake argument for why they want to, this shit on you. Like the left, it's like, you know, they want a reason to bash your head in, so they call you a Nazi or, you know what I mean? They just really want to just bash your head in. They just making up shit so they can do whatever it is they really want to do anyway. So there was a story, it made international news. This woman, she was at the Vatican, and I know right where she was at, and she stripped. She stripped off her top, and there's this huge, like, manger scene at the Vatican, and you know, like, this thing is like as big as, say, like 3 tractor trailer. I mean, this thing is
dude, it's life size.
Oh, it's bigger than life size. So, and it's way up on this big pedestal thing, and so I mean, she had to run up a flight of stairs. So anyway, all of a sudden you see this woman. She's topless, and it's December in Italy, and it's not that cold.
Wait, and, no. In the Vatican City in December, it's not bad, but still, it's not 90 degrees Florida weather either.
And you see a bunch of the local gendarme. It wasn't the Swiss guards. It was and it wasn't the Italian paratrooper guys either. It was the regular police, but they wear like these long capes because, you know, it's Italy. So she's running up there towards the manger baby scene at the Vatican of all places, and there's all these guys in capes running after her, and she snatches the baby Jesus, or she about got it, and then, you know, they went up and got her, and, you know, whatever, wrestled her to the ground. So, you know, and it made international news, and, you know, it's obviously some, you know, you expect her to be like, you know, fuck Donald Trump or screw the Pope, or, you know, he's like, okay, what's going to be the reason? So this is the best part. So she's apparently from Ukraine. She's part of an extreme feminist group called Femin, Femen, founded in Ukraine. There's claim responsibility for the action. Okay, so the goal of the group is the, quote, complete victory over patriarchy. Okay, so, yeah, okay, fine. Okay, you know, now we're all, I'm all part of the patriarchy now, so, you know, whatever. Yeah. Okay, you know, you won't say boo in front of your dead grandmother, but, you know, whatever.
Hey, well, you know, because it's grandmother, and look, I'm not a millennial. Mm-hmm. When my grandmother got pissed off, she made you go outside to the honeysuckle bush and strip off the branch that you were going to get switched with.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on.
I'm just saying.
Okay. Hold on. Stay off my mouth for a minute. I'm not to the payoff yet. So, okay. This woman, you know, Femen, patriarchy. I mean, literally, you could literally just drop buzzwords and, like, you know, Donald Trump. You could just whatever. Whatever you want to say. Yeah. So, you know, she's got these reasons that they're against the Vatican. And they list off their reasons. And the thing that was God is woman, that's the thing too. She was yelling God is a woman. So that, you know, God, okay. All right. What? I thought God was everything. So whatever. But they have this, one of their reasons why this Femen group hates the Vatican. It isn't the patriarchy. It isn't all this stuff. They literally are saying the Vatican's anti-war policy is suppressing women's individual freedoms.
Okay, I don't get that. First off, didn't the Vatican support the Nazis?
Now, hold on, stop. Okay, no, that was 2 popes ago. Oh, just stop for a minute.
Actually, it was like 4 or 5 popes ago, but whatever.
Yeah, no, but there's okay. Now, hold on. Let's think. Hold on.
Okay.
So normally it's capitalism, imperialism, down with colonialism, down with patriarchy.
Yeah.
But again, let me say this again. They believe the Vatican's anti-war policy is used to suppress women's individual rights and freedoms.
Yeah, see, I don't get that.
Well, okay, that's the point, okay? It used to be that they would protest because you're a warmonger or you're a knuckle-dragging goon or whatever. I mean, the goddamn Pope won't even... I did say it. The goddamn Pope probably doesn't even have enough goddamn sense to defend himself in the Vatican, okay?
No, I know.
So,
the Pope is a chode.
The Pope right now is a communist. That's fine.
Yeah,
we haven't had a real Pope for a couple popes. That's fine.
Exactly.
So,
but the Satan will suck him down into the abyss, and we'll get a new Pope.
Yeah, so, but before all the Catholics tune off, I'm a Catholic, you're a Catholic too, so we can say it. So, but my point is, so you're about peace and love and turn the cheek and forgive your neighbor or whatever and all this shit that, that everyone's talking about. But still, this Femin whatever crazy group is attacking the Vatican and the Pope because that's bad too. And because somehow that's still oppressing women. I mean, you see my point. I mean, I know that probably people listening to this are like, they don't care why I'm even talking about this, but I've seen so many crazy people and I've interfaced with so many crazy people. I literally just don't care anymore because I just know there's no point even arguing with them because at the end of the day, you're just making up bullshit to do what you want to do anyway. You want to strip off your top, flash your boobies in the middle of the Vatican and just to tear some shit up.
Okay, now, in all fairness, I'm going to play devil's advocate here. Who doesn't want to strip off their top and flash their boobies in the middle of the Vatican? I mean, come on now. I mean, we're talking about the Vatican. We're talking about tits. I mean, come on. I mean, look, I went to 12 years of Catholic schooling. If I can deal with pedophile priests for 12 years, I mean, come on. We're talking about titties in the Vatican. Okay. Now I've totally gone off the reservation.
That's the title. The Glock 19x jerk off and titties in the Vatican. Okay, so everyone, this wraps up episode 82 of the John 1911 podcast. Mitch, our sound engineer, is going to have a hell of a time cleaning this goddamn thing up.
Yeah, he is. He's going to earn his money today, isn't he?
Yeah, and so everybody, we'll be more regular now that we're into the 2018 year. And remember, it's all about shooting guns and having fun. Everybody have a good day.
See you later.